Hey, what's up, everybody? So today I just want to talk a little bit about motivation. When somebody asks me something like, how do I get motivated to work out, or how do I get motivated to make fitness part of my life, that question honestly kind of scares me. As a fitness coach, it scares me a lot more than somebody who's just saying like, what's the best thing to eat for my goals, or what's the best workout plan for me, or whatever, because that person who's asking those types of questions have already established the fact that fitness is going to be part of their life. They already have some kind of motivation to do it, and they probably are just trying to figure out what the best path is. But when somebody's asking about motivation, that just means they care to a degree, but they're literally struggling with even starting. And so what I have, up until recently, what I would probably say to somebody who and what I did say to people who would ask questions like, how do I get motivated, is I would say things like, oh man, write down all your goals, find stuff that motivates you, write it down on a poster, get a nice little image that goes with it, put it somewhere you won't miss it, you know what I mean? But what I've come to learn is that for a lot of people, most of the people who are asking that kind of question, they're in a spot where they might make that poster and put it up on the fridge or in the bathroom or whatever, where they're gonna have to see it. But before long, a couple of weeks, it kind of blends right back into the background noise of their lives, you know what I mean? They get used to that being there, that poster being there, and they kind of look over it, it blends into the surroundings, and then fitness kind of blends right back into the noise of their life. And so what I kind of want to talk about is if you're struggling with motivation and finding the motivation to work out, it probably means one of two things. The first is that you have something in your life that'll motivate you. You just haven't figured it out yet. Usually that's something that's a little bit deeper. So you might say I want to lose 50 pounds, but why do you want to lose 50 pounds? Well, there's probably something more emotional there. You want to be able to play with your kids or grandkids without being worn out, or you want to be part of a group, something that a group of your friends are doing that you want to be able to do, or you might want to be able to go to certain places without feeling embarrassed, or people are looking at you. Those are the kind of things that really help people to be all right, this is my motivation. And it could be a trip you're planning for. It could be seeing a loved one that hasn't taken their health previously very seriously, starting to take it seriously. These kind of things, it's so different, it's so individual. So there could be something in your life that will motivate you that you just haven't identified yet, and you just kind of need to talk through that with somebody, kind of think through it. But then the other thing is, and this is kind of what took me a little while to realize, is some people, there's literally just nothing in their life right now to motivate them enough to really, really do this. You know what I mean? I think that some people are in a place where they'll ask about it, and they might even make a plan and write out a plan and make a pretty spreadsheet that's color-coded, but it doesn't mean they're actually going to implement that. Sometimes they substitute the action of planning for it for actually making it part of their life. And I think that for these people, unfortunately, sometimes, like I said, they're just not ready for it. They're just not at a spot where something in their life has kicked in. And sometimes when that comes, it's something as drastic as a doctor saying you got to lose weight, or you're going to have some serious complications, or you might die early or something. Or sometimes it's less dramatic, and it's just, you're tired of getting winded on this certain situation, some of the stuff I was talking about earlier. But a lot of times, there's just nothing in your life right now that's motivating you to do that. So if that's you, what I would encourage you to do is, sometimes you just have to, I wouldn't say just wait around, I wouldn't say just, all right, fitness is on the back burner of my life for now, and then I'll figure it out later when something comes along that's strong enough to motivate me. That's not what I'm saying. If you lost your job and you didn't have a paycheck coming in, you would start trying to find a way to get your money back. So what I would suggest with this, if you don't feel motivated, start looking for things to motivate you. And if you really just don't know where to start, sometimes just picking something to do for a very short amount of time, and just, even though you have no motivation to do it or desire to do it, just saying you know what, I can commit to doing this for a week. It could, and make it something simple. Don't say I'm going to go to the gym every single day and spend an hour at the gym for a week. Say I'm going to take a multivitamin every day for a week, or I'm going to when I go to work or when I go to the store or whatever, I'm going to park five spots further instead of circling. I'm gonna park at the other end of the parking lot instead of circling the parking lot 6 times until I find a spot that's closer. You know what I mean? do that. Find little things that you can kind of like build yourself up in, build habits, and then sometimes that sticks, and sometimes you're like, I feel pretty good about this, or you feel better about yourself just for doing it. You feel better physically in a lot of ways, and then you can kind of start to stack those habits. And I think a lot of times it's so easy for people to think, to try to go all in, like think it's all black or white, think it's all or nothing, and you got to like start going to the gym, you got to get your diet cleaned up, you got to cut this out, you got to stop buying this, you got to get 8 or 9 hours of sleep a night. And everybody tries to do all these things all at once, but instead, like, just pick a little habit, do it for like a week, and then see what happens from there. Sometimes motivation and like a desire to do things actually comes out of just making yourself do them to begin with. And I think the key to being able to do that is not saying this is my new life, but it's saying I'm going to do this for a week.